Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a brand new episode of the ThyGap podcast. Another Thursday, another ThyGap podcast. My name is Bogus Noog, and with me, as always, is.
Being Brute, the fresh and new version of 2023.
Oh, yeah, this is the second
The second episode.
episode of
But it's the first for us.
Still fresh.
Still fresh. We're
Yeah.
always fresh. We're fresh till July.
Yeah, after that.
Yeah. Never get stale.
Well, today's episode is going to be Seduction. It's not easy.
Yeah.
And before we get into the episode itself, let's do the most important formalities first,
Mm-hmm.
which is our socials.
Yes.
Brood on Instagram, we are.
@_ ThyGap.
On Vero and Twitter, we are.
@ThyGap.
And our email is.
mindthygap@gmail.com.
And we have to remind everyone once again that this podcast is available on all platforms where podcasts are available.
Yeah.
Basically, we've sowed our oats
Yes.
all over the place.
All over.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Just to say that, if you have an option to follow or subscribe to the podcast wherever you like listening to this, please do so. If there's a way to be notified of new episodes every week, bell icon, whatever they call it, do that.
Yeah.
And also, if there's a way to rate the podcast and especially leave a comment, leave your feedback, do that as well.
Do everything.
And that would mean a lot. So, having said that, Brood, Seduction.
It's not easy.
It's not easy. Let's get started with the world famous It's Not Easy template, which we begin with explaining the context.
Great. I'm listening, Bogus.
Okay. So, by context, we mean in what way we're going to use the word seduction in this episode.
Yeah.
So, from a bird's eye view, of course, we're going to break it up into from the perspective of the seducer
Yes.
and the perspective of the ones being seduced. So that's the first layer of context setting. The second layer is, of course, what do we mean by seduction? Rather than the colloquial understanding, Brute, of, it just being about something like you're horny or you're turned on, or it's only in relation to sex or interpersonal relations, etc. It is more than that, what we're talking about in this episode. It touches upon, or it overlaps rather, concepts like advertising, marketing, desire, of any kind, where basically it sows that initial seed of desire or interest or curiosity for someone who then wants to pursue it, etc., etc.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the intent of seduction could be a malicious one, or it could be a positive one as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that about covers. Anything you want to add to that, Brett?
Yeah, not much, Bogus. See, I don't like to add to mediocrity. So I don't want to follow you and add more to the nonsense you just said. So let's just deep dive into the episode, into the
Excellent.
conversation, into the monologue that you're going to give.
Excellent. So with that cope, we move on to
The next segment.
the next segment. We've set the context.
Yeah.
Why is it not easy? Let's start with the perspective of someone who is the seducer,
The seduce.
who's looking to seduce.
Yes. Even before that, I'll add one point. The two ways of distinguishing the seducer versus the seduced.
Okay.
And I think this is also important to kind of add to the context. The seducing part as a verb, right, is a process.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. The seduced part is a movement.
Right.
And that's the difference. And it's predominantly on this premise is how we're going to differentiate the seducer and the seduced.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're going to speak about the seducer. Why is it not easy to be the seducer?
Yeah.
Because of the laws, Bogus. Okay. The moral, ethical laws that we have created,
Right.
where even trying to seduce our own wives
Uh-huh.
is unfortunately not taken in the right spirit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So that's the top, according to our statistics between both of us. This is the top reason why it's not easy to be the seducer.
Wonderful. Is there a more serious one?
The serious one is the lack of talent to
Yeah.
seduce.
Right.
The lack of understanding of the art of seduction is the number 2 reason of why it's not easy.
Yeah, that is true. Like, what do you mean? What is lacking, do you think?
Opportunity. The opportunity to, execute the skills, the confidence, the lack of confidence that I can maybe.
Yeah.
The hate for the choice that we have on who we have to do this.
Yeah.
Right? This is a
Yeah.
long list, Bogus. I can just finish this episode with just listing out of what the lack is. Looks probably start off with like,
Yeah. I mean,
intelligence.
I think looks also probably we should have added into the context. Like this is, looks are a given
Yeah.
in what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So it's not really to say that, seduction would be easier if you look good. Obviously, it would.
Yeah. Come on. We don't speak the obvious.
Yeah.
ThyGap is not here to state the obvious.
Exactly.
We are state to what we don't know what we want to state. Okay. That's how we roll.
Yeah.
Bogus, you don't have to state the obvious once again of how ThyGap doesn't state the obvious.
Exactly. Thanks for stating that, Brett. But yeah, why is it not easy to seduce? I think I agree with that confidence point that you mentioned. That,
Been there, done that, bro.
yeah, I mean, without confidence, you're not going to say, because what is underlying seduction, the whole game of seduction, is ideally you're trying to impress upon someone that you have something that they might want.
Yes.
Whether it's advertising or marketing, or you're trying to woo a girl.
It's a
whatever it is.
facade.
It's a facade. You're trying to create an impression that I got something going on that
Yeah.
you might want and you might.
You need.
You need, yeah.
Yeah. It's like, dude, when you look at
You don't want to miss out on this.
yes, you're going to pass me on?
Right.
Me?
Yeah.
You're going to pass me on?
Exactly.
And when they say yes, they're like, oh shit. Oh, is that so?
I need to go back and read chapter 2 of How to Seduce. I only got so far.
Selection 2.0.
Yeah, I only got so far, unfortunately.
You know the other thing about the seducer
Mhm.
that they also put across
Mm.
is authority. The sense of authority
Yeah,
that I have the authority on you
right.
also comes in the package of seduction.
Oh, yeah. And it goes very closely hand in hand with confidence, right?
Yes.
Because when you're trying to show authority,
Yeah.
you do it with confidence.
Yeah.
And even if you're a con man, it still works because people just fall for it. Like, all people want is, if you're a leader, if you're a subject matter expert of whatever it is you're trying to seduce me for,
Yeah.
whether it's a crypto scam or, whatever it is,
Yeah.
a Ponzi scheme, all people want deep down innately, I feel, is, oh, you're the expert, you're the leader, then
Let me just follow you.
let me just follow you because it's easy.
Yeah.
I don't have to do all the effort of falling on my face and learning lessons the hard way.
Yeah. You fell for us. So,
You fell for me, so
Yeah.
I'll just follow your example. I'll make
Right.
it easy for myself.
right.
I want to be comfortable. I want to be chilled out.
Yeah.
And that's where the conmen really take the advantage.
The other example of why I say authority is if you look at any marketing of iPhone or Apple in specific, there's always a tone of authoritative,
Yeah.
statement.
Yeah.
And you're like, there's no category of iPhone. iPhone is the category in itself.
Right.
And everybody's like, yeah, I need it.
Yeah.
And
that's why
I
every
want-
version, it's the best iPhone yet.
Yeah.
Yet.
Because we're going to be better.
Yeah, obviously.
By
the next version will be better.
Moving the camera a little here.
That's it.
That's it. That makes us the best.
And we'll also figure out a way so that the older phones start getting slower and slower.
Yeah, and by the
with
way-
every update, yeah.
And by the way, Apple is going to produce medicines to regrow your kidneys, not just your liver, so that you can sell it again and again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And the time you need to regrow your kidney is exactly the time which is between each release of the iPhone.
Yeah, everything is timed to perfection.
Yeah.
But yeah, seduction, confidence, and authority. It's a sense of authority. That's the most important. I mean, I won't say most, but
It is one of those.
of the more
One of the things.
important things. So if you're someone who's looking to seduce, and when we say this, we are combining both intents, like positive or malicious. Who cares? Who knows who you are and
Yeah.
what you're trying to do?
Yeah.
But basically, if
We are
you-
here to share knowledge.
That's about it. If you're looking to seduce, it's not going to be easy without confidence or authority,
Without listening to ThyGap.
especially without listening to ThyGap.
Yeah.
Yes. What is another reason that's not easy to seduce?
So I'll give you a little background for this. I think seduction gets applied or is applicable if somehow you are the choice, if you are allowed, somehow.
Might expand on that.
Okay, if I want to be seduced by someone, I need to at some level allow them to seduce me.
Okay, we're talking about you being the seducer.
Yeah, seducer. Why is it easier for an alpha guy to be the seducer?
Okay.
Because the fundamental thing is alpha guy is the default choice, right? So you to become the choice itself, or you to get that gate pass saying that, okay, fine, I'm here talking to you, seduce me. To be that choice itself is very difficult. I'm not framing it right.
Yeah, I don't think I'm following you. Like, you are trying to seduce someone.
Yeah. So I'm trying to sell myself
Right.
as a choice
Okay.
of seducer,
Yeah, okay.
right?
Huh.
That itself is not easy because I don't know what is the blueprint of it. Like, I don't know on what basis you will get seduced. So I have to rely on some common tricks.
Mm-hmm.
That is the difficult part. You fail more often than you succeed seducing someone, right?
Yeah.
So that's the tough part of being a seducer.
Okay.
Do you know how to seduce someone?
So we're
Say-
talking in the context of like seducing an individual.
Yeah. I can't talk from a context of
Oh no, sorry. What I meant was context of like a romantic interest.
no.
Not
Say
really.
if I want to seduce you with my idea of a business
Right.
to make you invest in it,
Right.
where do I start?
I think for a seasoned seducer, like you have to do some legwork. You know,
Yeah, like a veteran seducer, it's much more easier.
no, I mean, if you want to have a higher success rate,
Mm.
you got to do some amount of research into at least what kind of person you're dealing with, or you know what goals they have, or
No, we are jumping the gun here. There are 5 other guys
right.
who are trying to seduce you
Okay.
with their ideas.
Right.
Now, I have no idea, or like I have to be the first guy where you say, like, okay, fine, among all 5 of you, brute, you come. How do I ensure that I am the guy, that I'm the first guy who's given the shot? And that's not with homework. I didn't even have the interaction. There has to be something even before the interaction that I have to do. Because one of the things I feel is, again, I'll cover this point in detail when we're talking about the seducer angle.
Right.
You make the unconscious choice of saying that I'll give this thing a chance.
Yeah. So I was going to say that, like, if there has been no interaction at all,
Yeah.
and I still have to make a gut feel judgment by looking at 5 other guys apart from you, and if I'm still going to pick you to listen to your pitch first, then before any interaction, then I'm judging on basis of appearance, because that's the only thing I have to go by. And by appearance, I mean your body language.
Yeah.
Like, how much confidence or authority am I able to read in your body language versus these other guys?
Yes. The word that you used, Bogus, it is body language.
Yeah.
Why I say body language? Because yes, confidence and all can be read through body language.
Right.
So you have to understand what is your body language.
Yeah.
One of the big parts about being the seducer is if you don't have, so your body is the tool, right?
Yeah.
So if you go into a pub and you expect people to come to you and speak to you, then you need to create a certain charm about yourself
Right.
without opening your mouth.
Right.
For all I care, you might have a voice like Neha Kakkar, which is your weakest tool, right? How do you make somebody overlook the weakness?
Right.
And that's not confidence, that's not authority, that's none of this. It is your body language.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard the statement like, dude, just the way he walks?
Yeah.
I mean, guys always talk about it. Dude, just the way she stands, bro.
Yeah.
And I always like, what's there in standing? The fuck is there in standing? You're standing.
Yeah.
Everybody stands. No, dude, something about the way she stands.
That's a great point, because what is in the way she stands, if visibly you can see that there is a different way that she stands apart from
Yeah.
all the other girls, then you're looking at things like poise or grace,
Finesse, elegance.
elegance. Yeah. So that's the thing with body language, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's not just confidence or authority.
Nope. It's
There's-
independent of it.
There's also things like, poise, grace, sophistication, all of these things, intangible things that you can still communicate through body language if
Right.
you know how to do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. See, I come up with brilliant points, Bogus. I don't know you realize it or not. You don't appreciate me enough. But body language is a very unspoken aspect about seduction.
Yeah.
Every time you speak about seduction, right? Or if you hear things about seduction, it's all about look in the eye, be confident, be this, be that.
Right.
Nobody tells you where you are showing it from.
Yeah.
Nobody tells that confidence comes out of your shoulder position, or I'm just paraphrasing here.
Yeah.
Everybody is speak with authority when you speak, blah, blah, blah. Like, nah, There's something that goes before that, because if the seducer is not interested in listening to you, you can be a fucking charmer. You can be a snake charmer. It won't work.
Yeah, there's also another layer of problem there, because whenever they say chest position and, stand straight and all that stuff,
Yeah.
people focus on literally the
Posture.
and the movements, or,
Yeah.
speak with authority. The problem is, like, confidence or sophistication or grace or poise or whatever it is, it all comes from within.
Yeah.
And that's the only convincing version of it.
Yeah.
There's no other version. Like, if you try to put it on, it's not going to work.
Yeah. So that is what is the tool, what you have to realize. And it's not that I'm a great expert of using the tool, but I have enough realization that that's the tool I have to first focus on. Everything else will follow.
As a seducer.
As a seducer,
Yeah.
I first have to get my body language right.
Yeah.
If I don't get my body language right, then it's not working.
Right.
Then no matter how much confidence I have in what I speak, how cool I am, all that doesn't matter. There's a funny thing. There's this huge MNC giant, and I was speaking to one of the recruiters, and like, how do you decide? How come so many cool people in your organization? And the single point answer they gave was like, we decide if the candidate is going to be hired or not in the first 10 seconds, the way they walk in.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you hear about this.
Right?
Yeah.
And you're thinking like, where they walk in? I mean, what is there in somebody walking into the door? And like, yeah, it's difficult to explain, but you see something about them.
It is very difficult to explain. And the example is, and this is what, I think I want to say to our listeners. We are targeting like young.
We are targeting so
youth.
young.
Yeah.
So young.
Don't say it that
so
way.
Delicate.
Yeah.
We get them young.
Catch
We
them young.
we believe in that.
But yeah, what I wanted to put across was a very big part of seduction, according to me. The secret sauce is mystery.
Yes.
Is not having all the answer. And the example for that is actually following up on what you said. The example of, when a person walks in.
Yeah.
If I tossed a ball at you and you had to catch it with one hand.
I'll do it with so much ease because you throw like a girl.
Besides the point. Basically, these Boston Dynamics robots, you would have seen them. Like, they walk around, they hop and they run and, they do the shimmy and all this stuff.
Yeah.
So the very early version of that was basically teaching this robot to catch a ball which was tossed up at different trajectories and all that. And we got to see once the robot was able to do that, we got to see at the back end, like we as in spectators like you and me, we got to see that the scientists had actually had to teach the robot to calculate like hundreds of calculations per second, hundreds of thousands, to be able to accurately gauge where they had to move their arm to basically catch the ball.
Right.
Something that we do without even thinking, right? If I toss a ball to you, I could change direction, I could change the trajectory, I could change the speed. Accordingly, you will adjust, and within moments, you will catch the ball.
Because I'm just behind Jadeja.
Right.
That's my skill level.
So all of the calculations that these scientists had to hard code into this robot, we do it without even seeing. So it is happening without us seeing.
Right.
It is a mystery.
I think we're created by aliens. Is that where you're going?
No. What I'm going with is, when you're talking to a girl, right? A beautiful girl. And let's say you're not already seduced by her. Let's say you just started talking.
Yeah.
And you're not already seduced by her.
I am seduced by her when you said beautiful. Like,
ignore the word beautiful. She is not beautiful.
Okay.
She's not conventionally beautiful. Let me put it this way. Okay.
There is, everything works.
Stop stalling my example.
Okay. Stop seducing me with this beautiful girl.
Let us,
now I'm curious. Who is this girl?
Let us move on to the examples.
Okay.
So you're talking to this girl.
Yeah.
And in conversation, you find that, she has a certain charm about her. Okay, fine. That's attractive.
Yeah. Mostly the nose. If a girl has a straight nose, I'm charmed.
I mean, yeah, it's subjective. But then you may notice like, okay, yeah, she's cute, ticks a box. She has a certain charm about her, ticks another box. Yeah. As these boxes are getting ticked, you're probably falling deeper and deeper into the seduction. You're falling probably for her. But then there are these intangible things like the charm and the nose and all that you can still see. They are tangible. But what happens when she arches her back while talking to you? And she moves her head like this and her hair sways, and the way her neck makes that shape as she at the same time, adds a light smile to her lip. All these things are happening right in front of your eyes. And it goes back to all these invisible equations or calculations that are going on in front of you. Beauty is happening in front of you, changing in front of you, intangibly. but at the same time, it is seductive. You can't really put your finger on it, but everything seems to be like the way her hair flicks this way now is adding to it.
I once got seduced by a girl when she was combing her hair and then she flicked her hair.
Right.
Then I lost like 7 years of my precious life following trying to reciprocate the seduction.
I once got seduced by a desert cooler.
Oh,
I walked in front of it, wrote
Sweetest.
summer,
Oh.
and I was like, ah, ha, ha, ha.
ah, the chills that they send
Oh yeah.
on a hot day.
But yeah, I think mystery, it's these intangibles
Yeah.
that really make up for that seduction. And when I say mystery, what I actually mean is, as a seducer, if you're not leaving anything to the imagination in any way, like if you're verbally communicating with this person, or if you're communicating through body language, or if you're texting them, whatever it is, if you're not leaving anything to the imagination, you have failed.
Yeah. So always leave like half sentences like, hey, how about to...
That's it.
That's it.
They'll
Now
come
you
running
see.
behind you,
They'll
like-
be like, whoa, please do that again to me. Just like in the middle of the kiss, like, leave it off. Like,
Yeah.
whoa,
Yeah.
leave it for imagination. That's all you'll be left with. Imagination.
Sorry, you gotta do young people.
Like, imagine you're giving a pitch. So, guys, the dream I have is...
That's it.
That's it. Let the investors come behind. Like, what is your dream? I want to know. Please tell me.
Take this
Like,
money.
Make them Boria. What is that? Majumdar.
Yeah, boy.
Boria Majumdar. I thought, what is a Boria Bistar? But make that. Please tell us.
Tell me, please.
Please.
Take this Seed A funding round and just tell me what your pitch is.
Please. So, yeah. Don't do that, guys. But you get the point.
You get the point.
Yeah.
Mystery.
I think mystery is definitely the thing. I think the top two are definitely body language, and there's actually a better word than mystery. Being elusive,
Yeah.
you know?
I mean, yeah.
Elusive is the thing where you don't know how it's happening, but it's happening in front of you.
Yeah.
You get seduced by that. Like one of the examples of the elusive seduction that used to happen is every time I kind of saw a crazy watch. And it would look like a normal watch. But the more I stared at it, I'm like, something, like, it is so beautiful.
My precious.
My precious.
Yeah.
But you get the point, right? It has to be elusive. It's not mystery. People can't create mystery. You have to be a little elusive.
You can create mystery and elusive. I don't know exactly how these two words differ from each other.
Elusive is, it happens in, you don't know how it is happening. Mystery is not about not knowing how it's happening. It is about, I don't know what it is. I want to know.
What I mean by that is you leave something to the imagination. You don't spoon feed everything, like all of your intent.
Because I've been leaving stuff for imagination for so many people.
Not talking about you. I'm talking
Acha.
about in general, the
Okay.
listener. Like as a seducer, you don't leave, you don't spoon feed your entire intent
Yeah.
to the person thinking that, oh, this will work. And some guys try to woo girls this way, where they're like, I'll just be clear about what I want and I'll just state everything
Be honest.
on the table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honesty is best policy, because the girl wrote in her Facebook saying that I love honest men.
Yeah.
Don't fall for that. That's a booby trap.
She's being elusive.
Yeah, that's a booby trap.
So, that's what I meant. But as a seducer, again, a very high bar. I feel like this, if anyone, reaches this level, then you're pretty much
God mode.
God mode. You're playing at master level. And that is communication. If you're able to say the same thing in 4 or 5 different ways to suit, different situations, what I mean by that is, your intent could be very rowdy or very cheeky, very crass, very primitive. But let's say you're trying to woo this girl and
Who is this girl, bro?
she's just out there.
Let me make
Okay.
showing me the girl.
No, I can't do that because then the whole podcast episode will get derailed. You'll get distracted.
Give me a North Star. Give me like a reference.
Nope. So, okay, if the girl is too distracting, bro, then let's take a different example. Let's say you're a content creator on YouTube. And if you are at least a bit familiar with how YouTube works, is they have these terms and conditions that keep changing like seasons.
Yeah.
And the amount of words or topics that you cannot bring up keep getting added to the list.
Yeah.
More and more get added. So you can't talk about this, you can't talk about that. If you do that, then we're going to demonetize your video. You're not going to get ads on it, or your account will straight up get suspended.
Yeah.
Right. So when your speech or communication is restricted to such an extent, if you're still able to convey your original intent by using modified language in a way where, let's say, originally what you wanted to do was you wanted to come across to your audience like you're so pissed off at something that you're jumping up and down like a mad man
Yeah.
and you're ready to break shit.
Yeah.
Now, let's say YouTube frowns upon that.
Okay.
So you can't exactly do that. Now you have to use your language, modify it, rephrase it, but the end user, your audience, should still walk away with the same understanding that, okay, this guy is flipping mad about what he's saying.
Yeah.
He's ready to break shit.
Yeah.
If you can do that with your communication, I think that is master level stuff. And that, seduction becomes like child's play with that.
For me, the master level of becoming a seducer who's playing at a god mode, I think the most important tool is hypnosis or voodoo.
That's
Either or.
They say language is like a spell, like when you know how to wield it.
We did this in language episode. Yeah.
Yeah, language is not easy. Check it out.
Yeah, please, and share. Yeah, I remember we did this because the thing about language is you can make it poetic, you can make it crass, you can make it sophisticated.
And maybe we are using the wrong word. What I actually mean is communication, because it includes body language and all of that. Like you can use all of this to make it like a spell, like hypnosis.
Yeah.
Effect. Yeah.
And the most important part about seduction that one has to remember is that it's a process.
As a seducer, yes.
As a seducer. Sorry, not seduction, but as a seducer, it is a process. So you have to keep at it.
Yeah.
And it can be, like I said, it's not just with a girl, right? It's about anything that you are trying to lure. If you want to create a certain temptation about yourself, then, this is a process. You have to build yourself up to it. Because everything that you seduce will be different.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't work the same way.
Yeah.
I'm not at all a fan of people who say, oh, there is this one foolproof way of seducing people. No, I don't think so. Because there are people who are smarter than you.
Yeah.
There are people who are like much, much smarter than you, who are much better at this game.
Yeah.
So if you go in with that attitude that, oh, I've seduced with so many people with this, you will end up getting seduced rather than seducing someone.
Yeah.
So that is another big red flag why it's not easy, because you don't know who you're up against.
Yeah.
And great seducers are the ones who never let out their plan.
Yeah.
Right? They never play you don't see them conventionally coming and trying to woo you. They drag you closer to them in their own sweet way. There are few people, they say that this magnetic personality where you kind of get attracted to them.
Right.
Those are the God level seducers, where they don't even have to say a thing. They might be just in the room and you keep checking them out.
Yeah.
You keep looking at them like, dude, you got to be like that guy.
Yeah.
Again, it's the same thing like, oh, look at the way they stand.
Yeah.
Just the way they stand, fucking so much of authority. They convey so much more than just talking, right? Other than talking. So the thing that is not easy is to be prepared for the process. You have to be ready to change the process. It's not easy to change the process of selection every single time.
Yeah. And I think the good seducers also do research, do legwork. They try to understand, who it is that they're going after and what do they value.
Yeah, like serial killers.
Yeah.
They do great research.
Oh, yeah.
They tap each and every move of you.
Yeah. So
don't fall for that.
Which is where we're going into the next one, which is from the point of being seduced, being a target for seduction.
Right.
What is not easy and what, should be kept in mind?
What is not easy is to not react to seduction.
Not react instantly.
Yeah, not react.
Yeah.
But to respond.
What's the difference?
I give simple statements because don't keep expecting like I'll keep explaining everything. I'm not a spoon feed.
For the sake of this podcast, you have to kind of expand and elaborate.
Hazards of the profession.
Yeah.
Anyways, what I mean by that is, say for example, I'll give you a personal example because I'm very personal in my conversations. I'm a big fan of watches. I love watches. You know that, right? Personal information revealed there. So there are times where I'm, just kind of window shopping and all, and this is one watch like stands out.
Right.
I'm like totally turned on. Like I'm into it. I'm tempted, like whole 9 yards, right? Off the bat, I get to know that this is something I can afford. So the natural reaction is like, okay, every box is ticked. Everything is in place. Let me just grab it.
Yeah.
Right? That is the tough part. That's not easy to overrun that temptation, that urge
That
of
impulse.
of addressing that seduction. Right?
Yeah.
That is not at all easy. So what has to be done, which is also not easy, is to step back.
Yeah.
Step back, hold yourself back, and say, like, test yourself, saying that, okay, it's all a great offer, and you're not taking anything away from it. The watch is still great,
Yeah.
but you are also respecting a certain amount of decision making in yourself,
Yeah.
right? Like, you're stepping back, like, okay, it's a great watch, I am going to have it. That's a decision done.
Yeah.
Let me figure out how I'm going to have it. Right? Do I plan the finances a little? Do I pick a date? Do I look around for a better deal? Is there a possibility of a better deal? Okay, the deal off the bat is like supremely tempting, but is there a better deal? I mean, I'm just giving hypothetical examples, but you're evaluating the situation much better. And at this point, you're not in the process of being seduced. Seduction, like I said, for the guy who's getting seduced or the person who's getting seduced, it's just like, is this a snap of the finger? It is a light bulb moment.
Yeah.
Then, fuck, I need that. The moment you realize the light is on, now it's no more seduction and all that. Now it is like a desire. Now it is like a plan in motion.
Right.
You need to take it there. You just don't want to live the moment and forget about it or repent later, right? So you need to take that. You need to realize that it's a light bulb moment. Great. Now let me see how far the light goes,
Yeah.
right? Let me read around, look around a little, and then get back to it.
Right.
I'm not saying do this in in situations of girls, right? If a girl is hitting on you, like, great thing, rare thing, go for it. But in general, I'm saying when the seduction works towards you.
Yeah. Well, I think even in the case of girls, it applies, but I
Because you don't have to act all stoic as if you're Dan Bilzerian or something.
never said anything of the sort, but also Dan Bilzerian paid all those chicks. But
Oh, by the way, another way, but it's not easy.
stop digressing. Stop digressing.
Affording seduction is also not easy. Like,
There is no affording seduction.
yeah, it takes a lot of time, bro.
I mean, all you need is money. You're just buying it.
If all you need is money, and if you don't have that, it's a problem.
Yeah, if you don't have it, it's a problem. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not easy earning.
I
Having
thought you
enough
said
money.
you're not going to state the obvious, bro. Anyways.
Okay. Touche.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think it applies in the girl example also, but by react and respond, what you meant was like, there is an option for you, even when there is an option for you to take the plunge right away.
Yeah.
You have all the means, you have all the resources. Let's say buying that watch in that moment wouldn't pinch your budget in any possible way. Still,
Double check.
double check. Still take a pause. Still, do that check to see if, there are better options or not. Do you know everything? Because in a way that is respecting the unknown, right?
Yeah.
I mean, no matter how successful we are, we always have to respect the unknown to remind ourselves that we don't know everything.
Yeah.
And, it doesn't harm, there's no harm in doing that double check.
Never.
So,
Because see, in the process of double checking, if you realize that, yes, this is still the one, you
Right.
made a great decision.
yeah,
And if you realize that, no, I figured out something better,
Yeah.
it's still a great decision.
yeah.
So there's always a win-win situation when you're double checking these things.
Yeah. So what's happening is initially we got seduced.
Yeah.
There was a moment of seduction.
Yeah.
But instead of just giving in, we took a pause. And we took a pause to cross-check and verify certain things to ensure that our gut feel or our, the desire is validated or not.
Real or not.
It is real or not. And
Or also, most important, is it necessary or not?
yeah,
Another thing is sometimes you can desire something which is absolutely unnecessary just because you got seduced by something.
yeah,
So you take the seduction and you're like, okay, fine, great. I got seduced. Wow. Now I have a desire. But by double checking, I'm like, I have time to fulfill this desire. Not a priority.
right.
So that also is something which is really important. Whether you have a necessity for fulfilling that desire or not.
Yeah. And in terms of like in the example of buying the watch or something like that, another option to consider would be to seek out the devil's advocate. Like if you have all reasons that tell you this is the way to go about it, and it is constantly validating your initial gut or your initial seduction, then maybe we don't really know how much confirmation bias is running in that.
Yeah.
So maybe it's also good to consider like seek out the opposing view, which, we can all find online on everything. So seek it out and see if that is changing your mind, if that is being reasonable enough to throw some more light. Maybe there is a better option that you were never aware of.
Yeah.
And because of this, going to the devil's advocate, you actually found something. Or we might find that, okay, none of these arguments are convincing. So it further validates my initial impulse.
Yeah.
So I can be even more confident about, giving into that seduction
Exactly.
and being seduced and feeling desired and all
Yeah.
that stuff.
Like if somebody comes to ThyGap and says like, here is 10 crores, come on, do something about it.
Right.
We are not going to fall for it like immediately.
Yeah.
We'll take like 10 minutes pause, like look at him up and down, whoever is offering, and like, okay, cool.
Yeah. Let's
Sounds fair.
take a pause.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Take a pause and then take the money.
Yeah. Sounds like a plan.
Another thing, like from the perspective of the seduced is like coming back to that girl example, right?
Yeah. Finally. Waiting
Yeah,
all this.
I never forget. Yeah.
When will you get the girl back?
The girl example.
We need more girls in our podcast, by the way.
Sure. I mean, I was referring to the girl that you mentioned, a girl who's seducing you,
Oh, pipe
And-
dreams.
You just get, take it on because why not?
Yeah.
Well, I think in our
Society.
society in these days, in these times, I think we have to also take a pause there
And check all the Me Too.
as well and then see just how easily did this chick fall into my lap. Like, was it organic? Am I looking particularly good today compared to other days?
Yeah.
Or is she sufficiently drunk?
Yes.
Or
Big validation you need. Make sure.
exactly what happened here? What are the chain of events for this beautiful girl to just fall in my lap so easily? Why so easy? Why exactly so easy? That should be the pause.
Unfortunately, I never had to answer that question.
Yeah, sure.
Never. Like, I never had to answer that question. Like, why is this girl falling for me?
Mm,
On the contrary, I always like, why is this girl not falling for me?
right.
Like, that was the $1 million question.
Yeah. So that could be a check because, this is quite literally what happened actually, which is, Playboy Mansion.
Mm-hmm.
Hugh Hefner,
Mm-hmm.
the heyday of Playboy Mansion, everybody wanted to be a part of the Playboy Club
Mm-hmm.
because, you get to go to these legendary parties
Right.
where girls are running around naked and basically whatever happens there stays there, except it also gets recorded there.
Yeah.
So all these celebrities, they wanted to live that fantasy of, yes, I worked my ass off, now I'm successful.
Now let me
This
enjoy.
is what I wanted, Axeland, basically.
Yeah.
This is what I deserve. So they go to these Playboy Mansion, Playboy parties. Not only do they socialize with these girls, when guys get a little too close, they get a little too cocky, they wag their tongue a bit. Maybe you don't know what kind of secrets they are revealing to these chicks. And not only that, but when things get extra spicy, there's rooms that you could go to have a little special time with the chick.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also cameras that record that special time. And once
We need access to those cameras. The smart guy is looking out for the cameras.
right, once you're recorded, now basically you're a pawn
Yes, absolutely.
in someone else's
You're done.
game. And that's basically what Epstein also
Oh, you said pawn.
pawn.
I thought porn.
Oh well, yeah, that too.
Yeah.
You're someone else's pawn,
yeah.
and you're someone else's pawn, as
Yeah.
in a chess pawn.
Yeah.
And that's basically is what was Epstein's game plan also. Like, that's what he used to do. He used to mainly do this for blackmail. They did this to John F. Kennedy when he went to Cuba.
Oh my God. The names.
The Chinese are notorious for doing this. you
Yeah.
know.
I can never get seduced by a Chinese. Never.
You'd be surprised.
That I'm never getting seduced by a Chinese.
No, you'd be surprised how quickly you would melt.
Again, I'm open for such challenges.
Because these are not organic
as long
specimens bro,
as
you're going to come across.
they're trying with me.
These are surgically enhanced specimens.
Because you're not understanding.
That
I
you
want to
would
be a
not know.
choice.
You want to be there.
Like, I want to be a choice where, like, I'm going to seduce him.
Right.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
Good choice.
I'm ready already.
I'm ready. Like,
Yeah.
by the way,
I've been ready for years.
I'll make a job easy.
Exactly.
Okay. For all the It's Not Easy episodes I've done.
Yeah. So out of the blue, if you've never had a pattern of beautiful girls just coming and approaching you, you've never experienced a trend of that, and out of the blue you experience it, man, it is good to take that pause.
Yeah. And also, it's not just with girls, with even opportunities.
Exactly. Women, muse, opportunity, kind of
Credit
parallel.
cards.
All kinds of opportunities that sound too good to be true. Immediately, the more sweet it sounds, the quicker,
faster it seduces you.
Also, the faster your defenses should go up,
Yeah.
ideally.
I won't say defense. I mean, I don't know why do you say defense, but I think it's more about regulation. You need to regulate this, this seduction energy that is coming to you when it's too fast and too strong,
And too easy.
too easy. Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, we're both saying the same thing. Like, I'm trying to describe the metaphor of, a castle. The olden days, they used to have these castles and they used to have this drawbridge.
Acha, olden days they had castles.
Yeah. And they used to have this drawbridge, right? Like, you drop the door.
The moat.
No, that goes over the moat.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah. So
For the moat.
the moat is the water.
Yeah,
The crocodiles and all.
the drawbridge was for the moat because there was moat.
Yes, bro. Thank you.
They would not have a drawbridge if there is no moat.
Did I ever say that there was no moat?
No, but I'm trying to
I never even mentioned the moat. Okay. So basically,
like it doesn't make sense to have a drawbridge if there is no moat, right? Like why will you?
I never said there was no moat.
So you could
Fuck
have
it.
just used a gate.
Fuck
You
it.
like all these castles had a gate.
It's not like a gate. No, because it's not the same. It's not the same thing. Because it's like you come across a opportunity or a seduction that is so easy and that is so being offered to you without any effort or anything. The faster your defenses have to go up because that is not natural. That is not organic. That's not how the world works. Like you have to work for your meal in this world. And
What if you just got lucky?
maybe if you take a pause and you reevaluate, and if it turns out that yes, it is just luck and there is no malicious intent, then by all means, just open a door through your defenses and let it come in.
Okay.
But otherwise, the easier, the quicker, the sweeter the deal is, the faster your defenses have to go up, because that is you taking a pause. While you're doing that, maybe there is an impulse. Maybe you do get seduced in the moment. But then again, react versus respond kind of thing, which is take a pause, build up your defenses, and then cross-check, verify what the intent is. Do some research.
So here is a very smart question. People who say my doors are always open for you, are they the seducer or the seducee?
They're desperate.
Oh.
So I can't think of a better example than what happened during the pandemic. What I mean by that is, and I literally...
So out of context, bogus.
No.
Just throw a statement at my face and expect me to understand it.
I literally was starting to explain.
Okay. You should explain first and then say...
I said, what I mean by that is, and then you started it again.
You need to have more order to your articulation.
Sure.
You first give the explanation like, that's why I'm not... I can't think of a better example.
No. What I mean by that is, I literally had to explain this to someone, and I could see the wheels turning in their heads when I said this. And basically, what happened during the pandemic was, everywhere you turned, you were being told to take the jab. Everywhere you turned. And someone asked me, like, why are you so against it? Like, what makes you suspect it? I said, first of all, I've been researching this like when it was coming out of China in 2019 December. So I saw the progression of events. I saw conflicting things coming out of the WHO. And I know about how that guy was basically paid off by the Chinese, the Pedro's guy. And now this is all well known. But even if you don't know all that, even if you're not doing any research, let's say you're just working, you're just maintaining your job, and you're just taking care of your family, well and good. But you know for a fact that in India, especially, let's say if you're talking only about India, this is also true for other parts of the world. Road accidents are one of the major, biggest causes for deaths, especially in India.
Got it.
Put that aside. You know that smoking takes its own toll.
Yeah.
Alcohol takes its own toll.
Yeah.
We have all these all-star, performers.
The usual suspects.
The usual suspects, right? And this has been going on perpetually, like divorce or whatever, like people's life, mental health and all that, all these things.
Mental health is a very decent thing.
Yeah, actually, that's true. So if you look at the big players, right? Yeah. Constant death toll for years. My bank never told me anything to do about it.
Yeah.
I don't see random ads. Some random company that sells switches tell me about road accidents or smoking or alcohol or whatever.
Yeah.
And what is going on in the pandemic is an app that I used to pay my credit card bills is fucking telling me to go get the vaccine.
How dare.
Anywhere you turn, unrelated companies where it is none of their business are all of a sudden telling you to go get this thing done. Now, I'm not saying...
It's wrong.
No, I'm not saying that, it's all a game plan or whatever. It is herd mentality. It is trying to cash on, what's going on, what's popular. That's what they were doing. They were group
FOMO.
They were doing FOMO. They were doing groupthink. They were like, oh, we get some brownie points by saying these words.
We care for you.
Let's just say these words because for the brownie points for our brand. That's all they cared for. And that should be enough to tell you how much they care about it. Like if all these real causes we have up until the pandemic, where left, right, center people were dying because of it. None of these buggers gave a shit about any of that.
They never reduced the premium on life insurance or accident insurance.
Exactly. And now this flu comes across.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden, everybody is
They're
like,
giving it for free?
oh, we care for you. Did you get it done?
Oh, no.
Yeah, I fucking order groceries home and now I have to get a reminder. Like, hey, did you get it done? Go get it done. It's for your good. Fuck you. All of a sudden you care about me?
Yeah. Me? Have you seen me?
Yeah.
Like, do you know me?
That itself should be extremely suspect.
Mm-hmm.
When everybody around you is catching on to this. I mean, I don't know how that did not break the spell for someone. Like, that did not get someone, like, exit the matrix and say, like, what the fuck is going on? Like,
That is why we are saying it's not easy to not react.
yeah.
Because, see, when you are seduced, it's a very powerful tool, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Look at what happened. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's a very powerful tool. People say that if you can motivate, it's powerful. You can do this, inspire you. No, the most powerful tool is when you can seduce someone.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, there is a smart play in not using seduced beyond sexual like the sexual context. Because if you really use it in other contexts, like I've seduced this guy to accept my offer, I've seduced this guy, then you really see that it is ridiculously powerful.
Yeah.
We use very, very like mellow terms like, oh, I've negotiated this, I've inspired him to take this offer, I've motivated him to take this decision. No, you didn't. You fucking seduced me. You made me think in a way where I was otherwise not thinking.
Right.
That is what seduction does to you.
Exactly. And, everywhere you turned, people were telling you to do this thing.
Yeah.
Get this thing done.
It's a mass seduction.
Mass seduction. Pfizer, internationally, what they did was they started buying up all the ads space for news channels. So they had control over what was being communicated there.
Media.
And then in Australia, they were sending people to this concentration camp kind of, they said it was quarantine center.
Yeah.
They ran it like a fucking concentration
Yeah.
camp. In China, they welded people inside their homes,
Yeah.
shut. In US, people who...
You didn't understand anything. Like, what's happening?
No, people were ratting out their neighbors.
Yeah.
If they saw their neighbor stepping out not wearing a mask, they were ratting them out to someone, saying, this fucker is not doing this, take action.
Yeah.
And if they saw people who were not really, under the spell or whatever, people lost
Bigotry.
jobs. People lost jobs. People got cancelled.
Yeah.
They lost their revenue during a pandemic when they needed money.
Yeah.
Hotels, restaurants shut down, businesses. It's like all this because of what? Because of this seduction, because of this fever that everyone was under. This is the thing that we have to do. This is the virtuous thing.
Yeah.
And unrelated fucking companies are telling you to, get. If the government is telling you their health industry,
That was my problem.
ministry is saying that's fine.
That was the red flag that I saw, which was, you're not even close to healthcare. Why are you talking about it?
Exactly. You're my fucking bank.
Yeah. Like,
Shut the fuck up.
dude, tell me about how do I make money in this situation?
Yeah.
Give me better interest. That's where I'll see that, oh, you really care for me.
Exactly.
You come back to me and say that, dude, I really care for you. You know what? Whatever fixed deposits you have, we bumped up the interest rate.
Yeah.
Like that would have seduced the shit out of me. That would be like, dude, I'm loyal to you.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, even if you go bankrupt tomorrow, I will stand beside you because you stood beside me when I needed it.
Yeah.
But like I said, see, it's a very powerful tool. We don't seem to be in a position to gauge how powerful it is. And there are very basic things where you can develop that tool in you.
And I've gotten to a point now, like...
You never get seduced?
No, I've gotten to a point now where if anything is coming to me,
Yeah.
I'm already suspecting it. Like it's, coming out of the way
Yeah.
to
me.
me. If I need something, I'll go seek it out. You don't come to me.
Yeah.
Like you're not, don't tell me that you're calling me randomly because you have a great deal.
It's
for me.
like those Algerian prince who's
Exactly,
wanting to
Nigerian
give you
prince
like,
and all
yeah.
that. Like they're coming to you.
Yeah.
That itself should be a red flag. Why are they coming to you? If you needed it, you would go to it.
Yeah.
And whenever these e-commerce sites have these big discounts, right?
Big billion days.
Deliberately do not buy.
Because
during
it's
those
all the
days.
same.
It's all the same.
Yeah.
It's a fucking scam. Like you're not buying because you need it.
Yeah.
You're looking because you're seduced because it's a big sale that
There's
they're
a big poster.
promoting, etc., etc.
There are actresses who are sitting there and saying like, I buy on this day. You also buy.
Exactly. For me, it's like now when I need it, I'll then start researching and looking for the best deal possible. Pick it up.
The whole concept of brand ambassadorship
Yeah.
is seduction,
Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah.
right? You're seducing people to like, I'm going to take it because you know what? I'm going to get a smile like so and so people, whatever, right? So you're getting seduced by the idea of, again, which is one of the top forms of seduction, which is you seduce somebody with a mere idea of something and you lure them, you tempt them, and you make that idea their desire.
Yeah.
That's like the most horrible way of, seducing someone.
Yeah,
There's no output for you also.
Basically, what Inception was, right? Like,
Yeah.
that was the concept.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you do this exercise, and it's an open offer, every time you use I'm tempted, just replace the word tempted with seduction.
Yeah.
Like, I'm seduced by this. You'll start seeing that, oh fuck, it
Yeah,
was a
yeah,
wordplay all this while.
Yeah.
This is what is happening to me. I'm not tempted, to be honest, because tempted is different. Like,
Yeah.
there's a physical reaction to you
Right.
when you're tempted about something.
You're tempted by ice cream that fits.
Yeah, you're not tempted by kissing a girl. Like, you're not tempted to like take a jab.
Yeah. You're not tempted to invest
By
your
a-
money in that IPO that looks
Yeah.
all shiny.
Yeah, you're not tempted. You are seduced there. You're people who are doing voluntary actions around you.
That's what happened with Zomato IPO. That's what happened with Paytm IPO. A lot
Everything.
of money lost
Everything.
a lot of people lost their money.
Yeah, everything, right? So this is the tool of seduction. This is the power of seduction.
Yeah.
Is there a book called Seduction, the Big, whatever, superpower or something? No.
I think, the popular book 48 Rules of Power. I think they made one more on seduction specifically.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, they wrote another book.
Oh.
Some number of rules for seduction and all that. But basically, yeah, from the perspective of a target for seduction, we would say, consider how easily it is coming to you.
Yeah.
And, how effortless it came to you. That itself should set up red flags.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you can take a pause and do your research to validate whether it's worthy to give into that seduction or not. But also, I think what you suggested, Brute, I think beginners, at least the young, people like in the 20s, etc., should definitely try out as a thought experiment. Like replace the word tempt or, that kind of stuff with seduction.
Yeah.
And use this word seduction in other contexts apart from like a romantic
Yeah.
kind of context.
Like simple things like, are you seduced by the idea of buying iPhone?
Yeah.
Or are you tempted to buy iPhone? Tempted to buy iPhone sounds so mellow.
Yeah. It
Seduced,
sounds innocent.
it sounds naive.
Yeah, it's
Right?
not that
Yeah.
innocent in real life.
And you say like, I'm seduced by the iPhone.
Yeah.
Then you start saying, what? I've been played.
Yeah.
I'm seduced by the Netflix subscription.
Right.
You're played.
Yeah. And this is what's going on.
It's dangerous.
Basically, every day it's people trying to play other people.
All the time.
All the time. That's what's going on. Yeah.
Yeah. Like all those things, if you look back now, even I'm thinking, if you look back of all the times where you get pity laughs, you get fake laughs.
Yeah.
That's all somebody trying to seduce you in their own, sweet way.
Yeah. Yeah.
They figure out that, oh, you fall for laughs? Ha 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 ha. Boom. I'm like, oh, dude, this is the guy.
Yeah.
The whole concept of the saying hasi to fasi is seduction. Right?
Yeah. It is seduction. Yeah.
It's a result of seduction.
Yeah.
And you're using humor as a tool.
Yeah. And there's probably no malicious intent there. Like that seduction, there is good seduction and
There is
this-
always malicious intent when there is a girl and a boy involved.
Nope. No.
Bogus, let's call a spade a spade.
Sure.
Okay. Steve Harvey
Uh-huh.
openly said that there is no way a guy wants to be friends with a girl without ever trying to seduce her or, expecting a favor.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm only supporting feminism for this point that I want the tables to be turned. Where they say there's no way a girl wants to be a friend with a guy if not for that.
And then we finally meet.
Yes, then we are on the common ground.
Yeah. But yeah, substituting the word seduction in a context outside of the romantic context,
Yeah.
I think will reveal a lot.
Yeah.
And it needs to be consciously done. And that's the reason why we also said in previous episodes that language is very actively being fucked with. This is the misdirection. Like they take out the word, they take out what is actually happening and then they replace it with innocent words like tempt and cute words like that.
Dude, I was like, I still stand to it. I'm never a fan of language. I never trust language to be the best way to communicate.
Yeah, it's not the best way, but it is
and
the tool we have.
Another big example, and we were talking about it recently, is how today we are no more physical buyers. And what I mean by that is we no more have to go to a store to buy something. We just blindly trust that I
Yeah.
can pick it up from a website.
Yeah.
It's an indication that we have already fallen for the words,
Yeah.
the verbatim.
Yeah.
We're no more worried about the actual product.
They've removed the step of physical verification
Yeah,
from our
validation, right?
From our workflow. Basically, they've seduced us into ignoring that
Yes.
and just trusting them.
Which is why
Trust me, bro.
seducing is a process.
Yeah.
And your job is to not be in that process as much as possible.
Yeah, and there's a lot of value add, there's a lot of power, there's a lot of benefit to being a good seducer. It's just how you use it.
No, again, like I said, it is on the we are talking about the morality of seduction.
Yeah.
But fundamentally, as a person who's on the receiving end of seduction, they are the ones who have to be smarter, because the guy who's seducing is already smarter.
Yeah.
That's why he's able to do it.
Yeah.
Another way of re-evaluating your own decisions is if you can think of the decisions you took based on just being seduced by something,
Yeah.
you realize that you regret majority of them.
Oh, yeah. I mean, where you reacted, without taking a
You got
pause.
seduced by it and you're like, yeah, you know
just
what?
jumped right in.
Just feels good.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
No.
Like, no, you've not seen the future. So,
Yeah. There's a lot more to go on this, and I think we will come out with those episodes in future. But
yeah.
for now, we've already went way beyond our usual length for an It's Not Easy episode. So I
It's
think,
not easy maintaining time. It's a future episode. Like, it's not easy.
Time is
So,
not easy.
Yeah, time is not easy.
Yeah.
It's coming up. Don't know when, because it's not easy time.
Yeah, and because we don't know when, it's probably better you follow us on our socials to, stay in
No
touch.
more. Yeah.
So on Instagram, we are
At _ ThyGap.
on Twitter and Vero,
At ThyGap.
and our email is
mindthygap@gmail.com.
And before we sign off, don't forget to follow, subscribe on your platform of choice, and also give us a rating and a feedback if that platform allows for that. So,
And if you think we deserve it.
yeah, of course.
If you're perfect, then you don't have to give us any feedback.
So, with that said, Brood,
Seduction, it's not easy.
seduction, it's not easy. And as we always say, ThyGap Podcast, subscribe.
And share.
And share.